We are here. I'm Jeffrey Tucker, and I'm here with Sean Haugh and Rachel Mills.
Hi.
And this is a big deal actually, because this entire day I've been reading about some kind of frenzy and hysteria in North Carolina, and apparently I'm on the line with the person who's causing all this. What the heck is going on over there?
Oh, it's hilarious. The media cannot get enough of the fact that a guy who delivers pizza for a living is apparently the most important person in the world, at least when it comes to determining who's going to control the United States Senate in the next 2 years, as if I even care about that for a moment. I just feel like I have a tremendous opportunity to be the libertarian candidate in this race. When all the nation's eyes are on us. It's funny how these things work out.
So the story is that you're going to be the person who upsets the election because lots of Republicans are drawn to you, or what's your sense of what's going on in an electoral sense?
Well, that's the narrative. There's such an incredible divide between the political class and everybody else who's just trying to live a real life, where you get all wrapped up in what goes on underneath that little dome, and that's all seems to matter to a lot of these reporters. They really don't care about why people might actually vote. I think most people who vote aren't really thinking about the Harry Reid implications on this race. They're picking the person that they like the most, and I've just gotten a tremendous reception with my message to stop all war and stop spending more money than we have, and to be able to preach a really hardcore libertarian message and receive just such a tremendous response to it. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. And if that's what gets me on national TV and in the newspapers, fine.
So how much of your own money have you spent on this election?
How much of my own money? Well, now total, I have to file my FEC report tomorrow, and I'm still working on that, so I'll have to know for sure. I'll know for sure how much I've raised and spent pretty soon, but it's still less than $10,000. Of that, I've probably spent about $1,500 out of my own pocket.
Okay.
But then, of course, I get to compensate myself for rent, since I'm working out of my house and that sort of thing. So that's really a wash. Yeah. I mean, but the whole, that's one of the things that I find delicious about this whole cognitive dissonance that I'm giving people in this narrative is they just can't understand how I'm doing so well on less than $10,000 spent by my opponents and all the forces trying to get them elected to this $174,000 a year job.
Right. And the issues you're talking about war, you're talking about bankruptcy of the nation with debt.
Yeah.
Are you talking about drugs? Are you talking about marriage? Are you talking about abortion?
Yes.
What's going on?
Well, I have a little over. I have 32 videos now up on my website, SeanHaugh.com, and on YouTube, where I talk about all the issues, including legalizing drugs and marriage. I really made a point in my marriage video of not using the word gay, because I'm really trying to make the point that it's not my place as a senator to judge. It's not like we create these protected classes and say, well, okay, it was with a man and a woman, and then a few years back, okay, interracial couples, I guess you're okay, we'll let you in. And now, okay, gays and lesbians, I guess we understand you now, so we'll let you in. No, it's like completely up to other people, completely up to people what they want to do with their lives. So I had a lot of fun with that, and Mazel Tov has become one of my catchphrases because of that, because I talk about, if you want to get married, fine, I wish you every happiness. And we have this wonderful thing going on today in North Carolina, where all these couples are rushing out to get married because all of a sudden, according to a federal judge, it's now legal in North Carolina. So I've been wishing a lot of people Mazel Tov all day. It's great.
Well,
Beautiful name.
in other words, what you're doing is trying to take the conflict out of politics and just tell people they should be able to live their lives.
To preach, like I said, a really hardcore, even verging on anarchist message here, and certainly after I left the employment of the Libertarian Party, I've become a little bit more anarchist in my views, mostly just trying to live my life without any government trying to intrude on it at all. But I mean, the main issue to me, as you mentioned before, is to stop all war. War is the reason why we are losing so many of our freedoms, why government, or the main pretext the government uses to try to intrude on our lives, not to mention all of the surface issues about how it's just not working and just, the only reason why uh, anybody wants war anymore is if they're making money off of it, pretty much. So, and this is something that, both of my opponents are trying to outduel or trying to outrattle each other with, I'm using the wrong metaphor, but they're trying to say, no, I want war harder. No, I want war harder. So I'm able to offer a real contrast to that, and then also on debt. The federal government is taking such a huge chunk out of our economy and racking up this incredibly unsustainable debt. And again, people hear that, and it makes common sense to the average person. Uh, Go
So
ahead.
where are you standing in the polls, and when did this happen? I mean, tell me the story. I mean, how long have you been at this, and when did things kind of tip in your favor?
Well, I filed in February. Right now. I'm doing, depending on who you talk to, anywhere between 6 and 11%. 7 seems to be the number a lot of polls are coming out with just in the last few days. And I was in a debate with both of my opponents last Thursday, and I'm getting a little bounce from that. Those polls are just now starting to come out. I had been involved in the Libertarian Party on and off since 1980, and I had retired from it in 2010 from all political work, kind of in disgust. But when February rolled around, the party here had nobody lined up to run. And I just thought we have to have somebody in this race. So I figured
Yeah.
it's going to be me. And there was a nice little profile today on NPR about me, and the reporter, Tamara Keith, pointed out that the irony of that I'm just being so much more effective for the Libertarian Party and libertarian ideas as a pizza delivery guy than I was in all the years I spent, actually working for the party.
Interesting. That is really very fascinating. Yeah. I'm intrigued by your motivations here. The sense that, look, somebody has to oppose these people. We can't let an entire election season go by
Oh yeah.
without some sense of saying, and so that's what it was all about for you. It wasn't really a desire to be elected or a desire to rule anybody. It's really all about just a true sense of public service.
Oh, I know. It is. I do find there's so many delicious ironies in this race, and one of them is that as I become more anarchist and less concerned with electoral politics at all, I'm able to use this platform of running for United States Senate to push all those ideas in a very effective way. But if you watch my opening statement video, you see that I explain in there that I simply did this as an act of conscience. So I personally could walk into the voting booth in November and vote for something other than more war and more debt.
Yeah.
And when I started, my attitude was, hey, if I get any more votes than my own, bonus, But I'm really gratified that not caring what people think about me and just going out and doing my thing and saying my piece is very appealing to people, and then the message itself is also very appealing to people. Stop all war and stop spending more money than we have, and stop these candidates who are corporately controlled, and like I said, the people are spending $50 million to try to get one of these people elected to a 6-figure job, which tells you what's really at stake here for them. And so I'm able to draw people from all over, independents, libertarians, people who wouldn't vote otherwise, and people from both Democrats and Republicans who are sick of the options that they've been given to vote for this
In so
time.
many ways, American democracy is a kind of makes a mockery of itself. I mean, every few years we're given the opportunity to vote between two marionettes of special interests, and
Oh yeah, what was it they called it on South Park? The turd sandwich and the I forget, douchebag, I think, or something. But yes,
so it's an intriguing idea, and so many Americans are just giving up on this whole idea. As we know, voter participation is lower than it's ever been, but at the same time, this is okay. They want to pretend to give us a choice. I guess your view is, let's really give people a choice. This is
oh yeah,
something like an actual, I don't know if you want to call it a freedom, but it's an opportunity in any case that people have to vote. So why not give them some legitimate choice? And even if there's no chance that you get elected or no chance that you can change the system, it's a way that you can kind of at least as you say, it's an exercise of conscience, and you're enabling other people to do the same.
I am, and that's really gratifying that this campaign has sort of become something bigger than myself. With my name plastered all over it, that's another kind of irony about it. So yeah, I really inside and outside pressure going on at the same time, and I get to provide a little bit of both. I mentioned before, I just really enjoy all of the cognitive dissonance that I'm creating in the minds of what people expect out of a political candidate, like drinking the beer in a video, just sitting back and talking with people.
Yeah.
And that Rachel and I both know all of the rules. I've been to different politician schools about how to run a campaign. I know all this stuff, so we know how to break them. In order to really show a difference, if I want people to cross over and vote Libertarian, I've got to give them a stark difference, and I'm trying to do that in every single way, subtly, visually, culturally, as well as just in the issues. One little story. This is another way that I am blowing people's minds in the political world, and they just don't know what to make of me. Is the debate prep. A couple of reporters asked me about this debate we had last Thursday, and it was pretty obvious if you saw it that my opponents practiced very, very hard to get all of their answers scripted and just right. And my debate prep was just to ride down with Rachel on Thursday in a very leisurely way and just really get relaxed and clear my mind so I could listen to the questions and actually answer them. And that's what seemed to win the debate for me, more than the issues themselves, is that they are using the questions to launch into their completely off-topic attacks on each other, while I'm sitting there actually listening to everything going on without taking any notes at all, unlike them, and answering the actual questions that were asked.
Right.
People find that really refreshing.
Right. So much for prep. I mean, your prep is to prepare to answer the questions you're asked. Yeah.
My prep was simply to be in a calm, collected psychological state, and I had to concentrate, especially if I was the third person to answer. I had to concentrate. Okay, what was the question again? Because they're talking about everything other than the question. Right. So let me refocus on what the question actually was.
Isn't that what debate prep really is? It's how not to answer the question.
Apparently, how to direct it towards what you want to talk about. And yeah, it's just, and I actually a lot of criticism that I get is from fellow libertarians who want me to be wearing the suit all the time and who want me to put away the beer and are kind of freaked out by the fact that I'm so different and so loose up there.
Yeah, no, you got to be there. That's cool. No, that's the kind
funny.
Of I mean, basically, as a person who doesn't believe really ultimately in the right of anyone to rule anyone else through force. I think it seems to me you're presenting a really good message by being a regular person. Can you quickly tell me about how long you've been delivering pizzas and who you work for and what do you think about that job?
A little bit over a year. I'll go ahead and give you the scoop. I never answer this one on camera, but I work for the Papa John's in North Durham.
Yeah.
Yes, I like it because we actually do a better pizza than either of our competitors. So that's one reason. But there's so many gratifying things about the job, especially after having worked in politics for over a decade. Being able to do is a real relief. Um, it's I get to. You think about the reasons why people order pizza. It's either a special event, or I'm going to do something nice for the kids, or I'm having a party, or maybe I just got home from work and I'm too tired to cook. So let's order out. And so I get to deliver tonight, or later at night, a bunch of stoned folks at about 11:30 at night, and that's fun. That has its own choice. And I get to drive. I love Durham. Durham is a beautiful city. I love living here, so I get to drive around town all the time. Children freaking revere me, which is fantastic. I'll be driving down the street, and children will scream for me like I'm the Emperor of Pizza. I'll give them the royal wave.
Oh man,
it's nice. There's a whole lot of nice things about the job besides just getting paid.
Yeah.
And it keeps, and then it really helps me with the campaign, because not only does it give me the everyman sort of angle, it keeps me in touch with people. Everybody likes pizzas, so I'm delivering to everybody all across the socioeconomic spectrum, and it, like I said, it really helps me in every day keep in touch with how people are trying to live their lives.
Well, and also, I mean, I hope you don't mind my saying so, but one of the things that entices me about your job is that it's a grand achievement of civilization to be able to pick up a phone or to press into an app that you want food delivered to your door.
It's awesome. I know. I lived in New York City for 2 years.
Yeah.
And that is the most awesome thing about you can get everything delivered to you at any time, day or night. You can have somebody pick up your laundry at 3 in the morning, go wash it for you, and bring it back to you in a couple of hours.
That's a marvelous
It's fantastic. I love living in the 21st century.
Yeah, I mean, people take it for granted, but it's actually a gigantic achievement. It's extraordinary. In fact, the whole kind of process of pizza delivery, in a way, has accomplished more for civilization century rolled into one, right? I mean, all combined.
I think so.
Thing. Yeah,
I totally agree with that view, and there is a sort of magic behind that, and I'm able to do all of that, very inexpensively. There's the delivery fee is what, $2.50, and then if you want to tip me, that's great. Of course, if you don't tip pizza delivery drivers, you are the worst. But
is that true? Okay, I'm glad to know that.
You don't have to spend that much money at all for this magic to happen, for the pizza to be baked, for me to come out the store, and a lot of times I'm just taking a single pizza on a trip and drive, up to 5 or 10 miles to bring it to you and go back, and it's still very cheap for all that to happen.
Yeah,
even with all the government regulations and gas taxes and whatever else on us.
For me, that's the great achievement of private enterprise of our time, is the fact that it exists and it happens without, even despite the existence of government. That's an amazing thing.
Well, exactly, and but there are a lot of ways that is happening that I get to talk about on the campaign. For instance, I worked in in different ways inside the medical industry, both before and after. I was doing political work, and so I get a lot about. I've been able to see a lot about how doctors are opting out of the system entirely, as trying to take care of Medicare and Medicaid patients is too much of a pain, too bureaucratic, and not enough money in it. Where even in this hyper-regulated environment, a lot of doctors are being really successful at just hanging out a shingle in a mall, taking fee-for-service patients,
Yep.
delivering exactly what people want to them at prices they can afford.
That's right.
You know, imagine how much more people could have if we didn't have government trying to, run it all. But even in that environment, the free market is finding a way. And I like to talk about those things on the campaign trail.
Well, I wish you all the best of luck. I would love to see you in the Senate. I'm very excited about your campaign. I congratulate you for obviously being willing to take this on. I mean, it's a kind of a burden, but it's a beautiful thing that you're willing to kind of give of yourself and have fun this way and disrupt the system. And it
Well,
seems
thanks
like
so
you do an
much.
extraordinary job.
I appreciate it. Only 3 more weeks. Only 3 more weeks of this. I can survive another 3
Well,
weeks. But
let's
yeah, everything Rachel and I do has to be fun. That is
yeah,
rule number one.
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, but you're getting tons of press attention. I hope it keeps up. Let's send this video out far and wide. I think you're a lovely person, and it's extraordinary what you're doing. So I'm excited for you, and I look forward to watching the results. So all the best to you, Sean. It's a pleasure to meet you too.
Well,
Okay.
it's a real pleasure to me. Thanks so much. It's so kind of you to say. And good luck to you with Liberty.me. I'm really excited about it. I hope you cross over and actually start drawing all kinds of people from all walks of life, and not just libertarians to the site.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, we seem to be moving forward, so we're
Good
very
deal.
excited about it. And I'll post this on Liberty.me, and we'll get it out there. So all the best. Hang in there, my friend. You're amazing. All the best to
Well,
you.
thank you. Thank you. Good luck to you as well. Have fun.
Bye bye.